Emotional constipation. We'll talk about what it is, what are its symptoms, and 4 steps to end it. For more awesome content, be sure to click on the subscribe button.
Today we're going to talk about one of these things that we all know a little bit about, but not enough about, I think. So everybody knows that constipation is bad for you. It leads to bloating, it leads to gassiness, it leads to headaches and toxicity. But do you know that there are other types of constipation? Today, we're going to talk about the type of constipation that can lead to similar symptoms, and that is called emotional constipation. Have you heard of that before? This is going on and it's rampant. It's really tearing society apart. So I want to welcome my guest, Dr. Wendy Guess. She is a faculty member at FIU College of Business, and she is an expert in health and fitness marketing. So I want you just to go ahead and tell everyone what this is, because it truly sparked an interest. So let's talk about it.
Talk about dropping a bomb.
Let it flow.
Let it flow.
Well, so first off, you gave a great introduction on constipation and what it does physically to the body, but let's look at it from the emotional perspective. So I have some questions for you all to think about. Maybe you've grown up hearing things like, suck it up, or stop being so emotional, or crying is for babies, or, get over it, or let it roll off your shoulder. Those are kinds of things that if you can relate to any of those sayings, those emotions get stuck. Those labels get stuck in our system.
They create a neuroassociation.
Right. And we literally get stuck in those emotions.
Okay.
So what we want to try to do is get unstuck
from those emotions.
Right. Because just like what happens with, physical or nutritional constipation, it's going to back up, and you get all these other symptoms that you mentioned, and eventually it's going to have to go somewhere.
So basically, growing up, these neuroassociations were made from maybe your mother, your father, your teachers, your preachers, and they really meant well. But they were just trying to get you to react a different way, to change your immediate response to whatever stimulus or stress was happening at the time. And so we did grow up like, you're too big for your britches, or big boys don't cry, or big girls don't cry. And that's necessarily not true, but you grow up thinking this because you're told time and time again. And then when you grow up, you don't know how to let the emotions out. You don't know how to have a conversation. And so then it may show itself in terms of anger, or an emotional shutdown, or you're not free to express how you feel your feelings
exactly
in a relationship with your children, with your spouse, or what have you. And I think that's how we got on that topic last time, right?
right. Being able to express yourself in a healthy manner,
right?
Because we're taught to suppress everything or to constipate everything, and then eventually it's going to explode, and then in that case, we're expressing something in a very unhealthy manner.
Okay. So give me some examples of what that might look like. Like, let's say in a relationship, either with a parent or with a child.
Well, here's some terms you may have heard or used, or see if these relate to someone you know, or maybe even to yourself. Have you ever heard like a term like, oh, they've got a poker face, or they're really cold, or they've got this wall and you can't penetrate through the wall, or the term like passive aggressive, like they're nice, but then they're not nice, and you never know which it's going to be, and it's kind of like the guilt thing. You've heard of people burying emotions. Some people are in denial of emotions, or you've got those conditional kind of love communications going on. Well, if you do this, then I love you. But if you don't do that,
right.
Those kinds of things are symptoms of somebody who is emotionally constipated.
And are they always aware that they're emotionally constipated?
Most likely not.
Okay. So then how do you make someone realize that they do have an emotional constipation, or that they just are really ruining some of their most important relationships?
And that's the $1 million question, isn't it? You can't really change them. You can only change how you react.
Right.
The typical reaction is we want to get sucked in to their constipation.
Right.
And so it's important for us to move ourselves and just like, I can't talk about this right now. Let's take a break. let's give me a few minutes to process this, something so you can remove yourself from getting sucked into that ongoing struggle of communication.
I think one way that I think would be beneficial is to sit in reflection and without judgment of yourself and ask yourself, well, has anybody ever told me that I'm disconnected or that I'm cold or that I don't express my feelings? And you can do this in silence. You don't need to ask anyone. You know whether you've been told this or not. And then see where that stems from. Maybe try some sort of meditation or breathing or whatever works for you, prayer, even going for a walk in nature. To see if, what started that? Where was it triggered? Where was that emotional component? When did it start manifesting itself? Was it a relationship with a parent? And then if that's the case, then if you've been told this or not, right?
But we don't realize that it's not healthy.
It's not healthy. And I'll tell you why it's not healthy. Number one, obviously, it's going to affect you, because if you have some sort of suppressed feeling that started this emotional constipation, it's gonna eat away at you, and it's gonna tear you apart slowly but surely. And not only that, but it's going to affect your most important relationships. The first one being with yourself, right? And then with children, spouse, parents, and what have you. The funny thing is, however, that I often see some of these A-type, if you want to call them that, right, in my practice. And they are the ones that typically come in with migraines or headaches or low back pain, and it's chronic, and they can't get rid of it because there is an emotional component tied in. Sometimes, not all the time, there could be an injury or something. But sometimes if it's something chronic, we can tie that back in. If it's a chronic pain, we can tie that back in to some sort of emotional component. And so
exactly,
not only your relationship, but physically, it could really do some damage, right? It might cause insomnia too, and just so many other things.
And yeah, that tightness of, and that fear of losing control of your life, because in reality, you're probably not in control, but you cling harder to feeling like you're in control to make up for that.
That's a great point that you bring up. People, if you're a control freak, this might apply to you.
Hey, just saying.
Yeah, it's just an observation, no judgment.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people don't really connect the dots between our emotions and stress and our digestion, but they're very much connected. Just from the simple fact that when you're emotional, it's usually because you're worried or stressed about something. When your body goes into stress mode, as you know, and you tell your patients all the time, we're not trying to worry about digestion when we're in high stress mode. We're trying to focus on like surviving. You don't need to digest if you're trying to run for your life. So those systems kind of shut down. And that's where the constipation comes from, literally, but also that, emotionally or virtually, we get that constipation going.
So now, what are some of the steps that we can take if you've already self-diagnosed or someone's already diagnosed you, even though and obviously you have to be willing to say, okay, well, this might be me and I need to address the situation. I need to address the issue and the challenge that I'm facing. So what are some steps that we could do to resolve some of this emotional constipation? Obviously, there's professional help, so maybe a counselor or a therapist could work.
Sure.
But what are some things that they can start doing today?
Well, I've got 4 fun steps that I like to do. One is X-lax for your emotions.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So X-lax for, your constipation, but let's do X-lax for your emotions. And basically the easiest, quickest, simplest thing you can do is get out and do something physically active. Physical activity is the quickest way to start moving, the crap out of your system, both literally and physically.
Exactly.
Or virtually. So get out and move. Do something, whether it's you go get a chiropractic adjustment. I always call it an attitude adjustment.
I do those too, by the way.
Get out and dance, do some yoga, just go for a walk, because that wakes up that movement and allows
the flow.
Yeah. So then the next step is digestion starts in your mouth. Okay. So from a food perspective, the saliva is our first point of digesting our food. But from an emotional perspective, digestion needs to start in our mouth. So it's like write down your thoughts before you say something you're going to regret. Write it down. Get that emotional distance from you and those thoughts you're having or those feelings and emotions.
Or the situation.
Or the situation, exactly. And then my favorite is, I was thinking of the song from Frozen, Let It Go, and it just came out, Let It Flow. I like to have pretend conversations with that person, not real ones, but pretend ones, like, what would I say to that person? Or what would I want to say to that person?
Got it.
And then I'll keep saying it over and over again till literally it doesn't bother me anymore.
By the way, just for clarification, she's not talking about like imaginary friends. She's actually imagining having a conversation with a person she's having a challenge with, not an imaginary friend, just in case you were going there.
Hey, well, sometimes those people answer back too. No, I'm just kidding. But right, just to let the emotion flow out of you by saying something until it no longer bothers you.
Okay.
And then you're ready to actually go have maybe a real conversation with that person or a situation that was challenging you, because now it's no longer stuck inside of you as an emotion. And then the fourth step is forgive your butts.
Okay.
Pun intended. Yes, absolutely. But, there's two types of forgiveness. There's the forgiving of the situation or the perceived cause of a situation, the other person involved. But the most important part, and that's where the but comes in, is to forgive yourself for allowing another person or situation to remain in power over you.
Wow, that's powerful.
And that's probably the most critical piece here.
I agree with that. I think so many times we give our power away. We let others dictate how we feel, how we react. And when you allow others to take that power away from you, then you minimize yourself to the lowest extent. And that is huge. So you need to forgive yourself for any past actions, forgive others, but never give away your power.
Right. Really stop and asking yourself, what is the story? Is this story my story? Is it true? Is it a story I need to hang on to? Is that story serving me? Or is it time to maybe rewrite the story?
Right. And I think we sometimes get stuck in a pattern because it serves us. I often feel
protects us.
Or protects us. Yes, that's true.
Right. And especially like from the nutritional perspective, we talk about fiber being so essential for colon health. Fiber moves things along. So if you think about it from a figurative or virtual type of a setting, what type of fiber do we need in our emotional life to keep things going, keep putting yourselves in situations where you can practice healthy communication interaction.
Right.
If you're constantly around drama or people who are shutting you down or stuff, how do you ever get to practice positive, healthy interaction?
Okay. So this is some great topics. So how can they reach you if they want to work with you on a more personal level?
Oh, great. Well, I'm at FIU. I teach classes in health and fitness marketing and market research. Guess, like guess who, at fiu.edu.
Thank you, Dr. Guess. Thank you for being on the show. We're out of time. Every time it's a great show, we're out of time. Follow us on Facebook, Manifest Your Epic Life on Facebook. We're going to be answering any questions right now after the show. So join us there. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
The audio for this video was provided by Manifest Your Epic Life with Dr. Aixa Goodrich. Edited and post-production by Veronica Herrera. For more information on Dr. Wendy Guess, please visit drwendyguess.com.